Hey everyone, welcome to the video. So we're well into 6 ER now, and today we'll look at a few hits, see how the meta is here. We already picked up most of the tech at 6, like shocks and barrage, and both troop damage, so rocking the 200%, which adds a lot of offense to our hits. And funny enough, it's roughly the same times as 5 ER was, around 255 to 3 minutes, but it's also because we get a bigger deck at 6 ER and some flames, which, though they don't hit RCs, it's some extra buildings to go through. And we're 25 now, but we'll see if we can push to legend. As we're going through the hits, you might notice a theme where the first half of the hit isn't too crazy, you're just dropping troops and maybe using abilities a few times, throwing a shock here or there. But it's really the second half that makes or breaks the hit. And that's when you're just flaring from ER to ER. Ideally, if you're good and aggressive, then you can quickly get the ERs down, but there's still a good and bad way to be aggressive. Like, if you don't have any GB, then you shouldn't flare right away. Kind of monitor what you have and what you need. So like on this base, I like going from left side, splitting both HCs and RCs to go to both ERs. And once those first ERs go down, regroup everyone and just flare the last 3. So he will drop 2 HCs, one really far left, so they kind of split after the sniper. Since once they kill it, then they'll go both sides. RCs on the left are a bit fast, so we'll shock the left cannon. And the idea is we're using the bombing run to speed up the left side, and that's why we bring more RCs on the right. So once the right ER goes down, we'll flare left and bark that shock blaster. And here they usually should split, so they get whatever buildings are up and that middle ER. And the main point is once this ER goes down and that top cannon, we can just flare the last ERs. So pop another bomb stuff, and here we just flare. Got enough GB for shocks, and cannons right next to ERs we usually leave alone since we have HCs to protect. Was a bit early with the flare, so we'll send a barrage, but should be enough. Looks like 3 minutes. And again, we're aiming for that 255 to 3 minute times. So it's like once you get a match, you got a minute to think and a minute to do the hit. So it looks like a win. Here we got a bit different style of base, and I like going from right side. Beginning is just a little tricky since we're only using 2 HCs, but kind of need a more meat shield. So instead we throw a critter on the left and shock the flame, and drop 2 RCs there with the hero, with the rest of the troops on the right side. Still barring that shock blaster, and popping the ability one more time. Once these first 2 ERs go down, we'll go to the right. Trying to make sure that boom cannon is dead, and then move everyone in that corner. And here we were a bit more aggressive with flaring. Once this ER goes down, we start going for it. But if you want, you can always clear a bit more. Like once this left cannon goes down, we start flaring, but you can always keep going for clearing some more cannons, machine guns. But we had the GB, so you can start flaring. I also didn't notice, but we had another bug with the new hero. That's why he's super fast for this ER, and looks like another 3 minute time. And that happened real fast, so let's take a closer look at what that bug was. Looks like got a winning time. And let's take a look at the bug. So it happens whenever there's hot pots, which we got 2 of at 6 ER. Whenever you do his bombing run and the hot pot shows up, then he kind of just hovers in midair, just dropping bombs. So you can see he's not moving at all. And once he does that for like 10 more seconds, he just stays there and targets whatever. But after that, he's super fast the rest of the hit. Like already he was real fast as RCs, but here it's even faster. So once we do that final flare, he just zooms to that last ER and actually helps us get that 3 minute time. It's something that maybe you can control in hits, like popping it when you know a hot pot's gonna go up, but for the most part I think planning it just is a bit stressful, so we just do a normal hit and If it happens, then deal with it. But let's move on to the next hit. Here we got a guy in Legend, so similar base as we just faced. Again, the beginning is a little tricky because we're throwing a critter and a shock and right away the rest of the troops. You could also take a third HC, but we want a bit more firepower, so we do this instead. Throwing a critter shock and 2 RCs, everyone else on the right. Need a bit more GB for the second barrage, so wait a bit. And here that bug happens again, but we'll just deal with it. Kinda helps us in this case since it does all that damage to that ER. And almost lose him here, but just speeds on past. Here we want him to pop another ability, try and get at least 1 cannon. So it looks like he might get that one. And again, once this right ER goes down, you can start flaring. In most cases, you have enough GB for shocks, shocking the cannons that are right next to RCs, not the ones in the back. And once this ER goes down, you can do that flare. Looks like it'll be a bit slower than the other hit, so around 256. We'll see if it's fast enough. And looks like he'll get the same time. The draw is still better than a loss. Keep that win streak alive. And we'll keep on pushing. So we got another 25 here, and if we win, it'll be our boss fight. Looks like he's a secret player, and you can kind of tell looking at his boost. I have 110 troop health, also missing shock launchers. So we know we have to be real fast in this kind of base. But luckily, it looks like we can critter 1 ER, that one on the far left. And that's the benefit of barrage. So we'll go 2-6 on the right, bar out that flame. And once we get a bit more GB, we'll critter out on the critter launcher. And we can start that now. So 1 shock with a couple critters. And maybe throw 1 more once you get GB. But as for the right side, just popping the bomb stuff and letting it clear. We'll throw that 3rd critter, and I think once the boom cannon goes down, we can start flaring. So we'll do that now. That ability was kind of wasted, but almost kill that cannon. And here we flare the last ERs. And do 1 more bomb stuff. So it looks like we'll get 308. Which could be beatable if he seeks, but let's see. Looks like he fizzled, and that'll be a win. So we did pick up that 100 building damage and shock mines, and kind of helped against other seeks. But that's going to be Legend. Kind of a good goal that we met this season, starting this account from rank 1. So now we get a bit more keys and can think about next steps. 7 ER is one option, another is going back for heavies, maybe art. But we'll see how the next few days play out. I think as people get all this tech at 6 ER, it'll turn into kind of like 5 ER was, where most people have the same stuff and it's just about how fast you are. So try most of these hits, just be aggressive but in the right way. And I think with enough practice, you get a feel for the perfect timing. But that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.